Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where we will explore the fascinating world of psychology and philosophy. Today, we will be talking about something that's super close to all of us ourself or identity, who we are, and how the world around us shapes the sense of self. So let's get into it. This presentation explores the multifaceted concept of the self and its intricate relationship with the external world. We will delve into the social construction of identity, highlighting how our experiences and interactions shape who we become. First up, let's talk about what we mean by the self. For centuries, philosophers and psychologists have debated what the self actually is. Are we born with a set identity, or is it something that changes over time? These days, the focus has shifted from abstract ideas like the soul to more practical concepts about how our environment and experiences shape who we are. We now know that social factors like culture, family, and education play a huge role in shaping our identities. In a way, we're all products of the world around us. Let's think about this through a popular story, Tarzan. Yes, the guy raised by apes. Tarzan's story is a perfect example of how our surroundings influence our behavior and identity. He wasn't born swinging from vines. He learned it because of the environment he was in. Tarzan challenges the idea that humans are naturally superior just because we have a soul or higher intellect. Instead, his life shows that our environment, whether it's a jungle or a city, shapes who we become. Tarzan's story makes us question the idea that humans are naturally better or more special because we have something like a soul. Instead, it suggests that the environment we grow up in plays a huge role in defining who we are. Tarzan's life also teaches us that our identity, who we are, is heavily influenced by things like society, family, and education. His experiences show that the world around us has a big impact on shaping our personality and behavior. Now, let's talk about how we generally see ourselves. Most of us think of the self as unique, consistent, and somewhat isolated, like a private inner world only we have access to. The self is often perceived as a unique, self contained entity, separate and distinct from the external world. When we say the self is unique and self contained, it means that you are your own complete individual, separate from everything else around you. You're like your own little world, different from the outside world. Halimbawa, si Justin ay mahilig mag-drawing ng mga iba't ibang karakter mula sa kanyang imagination. Kapag may nagtanong sa kanya kung saan niya nakuha ang kanyang mga ideas para sa kanyang mga creations, lagi niyang sinasabi na ito ay nagmula sa kanya mismo at hindi mula sa mga napanood niyang palabas o nabasang comics. Ipinapakita nito na ang kanyang mga likha ay natatangi or unique at mula sa kanyang sariling pag-iisip. Hiwalay sa influence ng mga bagay sa kanyang paligid. Sa ganitong sitwasyon, pinapakita ni Justin na ang kanyang sarili ay unique and self-contained dahil ang kanyang mga ideas ay natatangi at hindi lamang kopya ng mga bagay na nakikita niya sa kanyang paligid. Siya ay isang individual na may sariling mundo na iba sa anumang nasa labas ng kanyang sarili. Moreover, we tend to view the self as a consistent and unitary entity, despite the dynamic nature of our experiences and interactions. Halimbawa, nanonood ka ng pelikula ng iyong buhay, kahit na nagbabago ang mga eksena, minsan masaya ka, minsan malungkot, minsan kasama ang mga kaibigan, minsan mag-isa, nakikita mo pa rin ang iyong sarili bilang parehong pangunahing karakter sa buong pelikula. When we say the self is consistent and unitary, we mean that even though you go through different experiences and feelings, you still think of yourself as one whole, unchanging person. You are always you, even when things around you or inside you change. The self is also considered private and isolated, with an inner world of thoughts, feelings, and experiences that are not always accessible to others. The idea that the self is private and isolated means that everyone has their own personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences that are hidden from others. It's like having a secret diary in your mind that only you can read. Even though people might know you well, they can fully understand everything you think or feel because some things are just yours alone. This inner world is unique to you, and sometimes it's hard or even impossible for others to see or understand it completely. May mga tao na very private. Sa labas, mukhang masaya at kontento pero sa loob ng kanyang kaisipan, nakakaramdam din siya ng takot at pagkabahala. Pero despite of what he thinks and feels, he keeps it all to himself. Alam niya na ang kanyang mga iniisip ay para lang sa kanya. At kahit gaano pa kalapit o ka-close ang kanyang mga kaibigan sa kanya, hindi nila maiintindihan ang tunay na damdamin na itinatago niya. Ang kanyang sariling mundo ay nananatiling lihim at pribado, isang bagay na siya lamang ang may ganap na pagkaunawa. However, despite its perceived privacy, the self is profoundly influenced by the external world. Our interactions with others, our environment, and our social context all shape our identity. Imagine you're like a sponge. Even though you feel like your thoughts and feelings are totally your own, they're actually shaped by everything around you, like the people you hang out with, the places you go, and the society you live in. Just like how a sponge absorbs water, your identity absorbs all these influences and they become a part of who you are. Kagaya ng sponge na sumisipsip ng tubig, ang pagkakakilanlan mo ay sumisipsip din ng lahat ng mga impluensyang ito at nagiging bahagi sila ng kung sino ka. Now let us discuss the self as a social construct. The self is not static but rather a dynamic entity that is constantly evolving in response to its social context, meaning you're not stuck being the same person forever. Instead, you're always changing and growing based on what's happening around you, your friends, your family, your school, and even what you see online. Your self evolves and adapts depending on your surroundings and experiences. In fact, social constructivist perspective emphasizes the role of social interactions in shaping the self. Our identity is not predetermined but rather emerges through our experiences with others. Social constructivism is the idea that who we are, our identity isn't something we're just born with. Instead, it's shaped by the people around us and our interactions with them. As you go through life, the people you talk to, your friends, family, and even the things you do on social media all help to mold and shape who you become. So, yourself develops over time based on your experiences with others. Ang ating sarili ay hindi permanente. Nagbabago tayo base sa mga taong nakakasama natin, mga karanasang pinagdaraanan at mga bagong environment na kinakaharap. Ang ating pagkatao ay patuloy na umaangkop at umuunlad kasabay ng mga pagbabagong ito. All right, imagine you're juggling different roles in your life, like being a student, a friend, a family member, or maybe even a part time worker. Each of these roles might require you to act a bit differently. Basically, adapting the self to different social contexts means changing how you act depending on who you're with and what you're doing. It's like adjusting your behavior to fit the situation. So you're the best version of yourself for each role you play. This is emphasized in the concept of Marcel Mauss, personas, and moi, which highlights the dynamic interplay between the self and social expectations. Marcel Mauss's idea of personas is about the various roles you take on depending on who you're with and what you're doing. Now, moi is your true self, who you are when you're not pretending to be someone else. So Moss is saying that there is a constant interaction between these roles and your true self. The roles you play can shape how you see yourself, and your true self influences how you play those roles. It's a balance between being who you really are and fitting into the different roles society expects from you. Halimbawa, sa school, si Ana ay mabait at masunurin sa kanyang mga teachers. Ito ay nagpapakita ng kanyang persone. Pero kapag siya ay nasa bahay, malakas ang kanyang loob at pinapakita niya ang kanyang totoong damdamin sa kanyang pamilya, ang kanyang moy. Dito makikita ang interplay sa pagitan ng kanyang persone at moy, kung saan hinahamon niya ang kanyang sariling pagkakakilanlan habang tinutupad din ang mga inaasahan ng lipunan. So we constantly adjust our presentation of self to fit different social contexts, navigating a complex web of social norms and expectations. We change how we act and show ourselves depending on where we are and who we're with. This is because each situation has its own set of rules and expectations, and we adapt our behavior to fit in and get along with others. Culture plays a significant role in shaping our identity, influencing our values, beliefs, and behaviors. Culture is a powerful force that shapes our perceptions of the world and ourselves. Culture helps shape who we are by affecting our values, your values, what you think is important, your beliefs, what you think is true, and your behaviors, how you act. It's like a guide that influences how you see the world and yourself. So, the way you think and act is often a result of the culture you're part of. Language is a powerful tool that shapes our thoughts and perceptions. Our language reflects our cultural background and influences how we perceive the world and ourselves. Think of language like a mirror for our culture. The words and phrases we use come from the way our culture sees things and experiences life. For example, different cultures might have unique words for emotions or concepts that don't exist in other languages. So, when we talk or write, we're not just sharing our thoughts, we're also showing where we come from and how we see the world. Language helps us understand each other better and can even shape how we think about ourselves and our place in the world. Culture also influences our self perception and behavior. Our values, beliefs, and social norms are shaped by the cultural context in which we live. It plays a big role in how we see ourselves and how we act, the things we believe in, the values we hold, and the social rules we follow come from the culture we grow up in. So, where you live and the people around you shape how you think about yourself and how you behave. The self is in constant development. Sabi nga ni George Mead, our self is like a project that develops through interactions with others. He said that we learn who we are by seeing how others react to us. For example, when you act in a certain way and your friends respond positively, you learn that this behavior is part of who you are. Believed that our self is shaped by the roles we take in society and the feedback we get from other people. Lev Vygotsky, on the other hand, also have the similar idea, but focus more on how our thinking develops through interactions with others. He believed that we learn and grow by talking and working with people around us. For instance, when you work on a group project, you not only learn from your own experiences, but also from how others think and solve problems. Vygotsky thought that this social interaction is crucial for developing our skills and understanding of the world. Sa madaling salita, pareho sina Mead at Vygotsky na naniniwala na ang ating pagkatao ay hindi lamang nagmumula sa loob natin. Ito rin ay hinuhubog ng ating mga pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga tao sa paligid natin at ang mga papel na ginagampanan natin sa ating komunidad. The family is the primary environment for self development, providing the foundation for our values, beliefs, and social skills. The question is, papaano nagkakaroon ng influence ang ating pamilya sa ating mga sarili? Halimbawa, when you eat with your family and you talk about your day, you're learning how to communicate and share ideas. So the way your family interacts with each other teaches you how to interact with others. For example, if you see your family members being kind and respectful to each other, you learn to be polite and considerate. But if there's a lot of arguing or lack of support, it might make it harder for you to build positive relationships outside the family. Another example is that when you celebrate special family traditions like family reunions during special occasions or celebrating birthdays make you feel like you belong. They also teach you about the values your family cares about, like sharing or being grateful. Pagdating naman sa setting of rules, if your parents set rules like doing homework or coming home on time, they're teaching you important lessons, like they want to emphasize hard work and honesty. These lessons help shape your actions and decisions. Paano naman makakatulong ang iyong pamilya sa pag-develop ng iyong self-esteem? For example, imagine if your parents always praise you for your achievements like getting good grades or doing well in a sport. This positive feedback helps you feel good about yourself and boost your confidence. However, if your family constantly criticizes you, it might make you doubt yourself and feel less confident. Gender is a vital part of our identity, of ourself, shaping how we see ourselves and interact with the world. Gender identity is not fixed, but rather a fluid and evolving aspect of the self, shaped by personal experiences and cultural influences. Halimbawa, siya ay ipinanganak na lalaki ngunit sa paglipas ng panahon, napagtanto niyang mas komportable siya na mabuhay bilang isang babae. Ang kanyang gender identity ay hindi nakapako sa isang uri lamang. Sa halip, ito ay nagbabago at umuusbong base sa kanyang personal na karanasan at impluensya ng kanyang kultura. So, through experiences and interaction with others, natutunan niyang yakapin ang kanyang tunay na sarili. Society plays a significant role in shaping our understanding of gender roles and identities. influencing our self-perception and behavior. Halimbawa, may isang batang babae na mahilig maglaro ng mga laruan ng mga lalaki tulad ng mga truck at kotse. Pero palaging sinasabi ng kanyang mga magulang, kapatid, kaklase o kamag-anak na ang mga laruan na nabanggit ay para lamang sa mga lalaki. Dahil dito, naiisip ng batang babae na mali ang kanyang mga hilig at nagsisimula siyang magtanong kung tama ba ang kanyang mga interes. Sa ganitong paraan, ang mga paniniwala ng lipunan o society tungkol sa gender roles ay nakakaapekto sa pananaw natin sa ating mga sarili at sa kung paano tayo dapat kumilos. Kung ang lipunan ay nagsusulong ng ideya na ang lahat ng laruan ay pwedeng laruin ng kahit na sinong bata, maaaring hindi maguluhan ang kahit na sino tungkol sa kanyang mga interes at magiging mas komportable siyang ipakita ang kanyang sarili. It is crucial to create a safe and supportive environment for individuals to explore and express their true gender identities, fostering self acceptance and authenticity. Halimbawa, sa isang paaralan, mahalaga na lumikha tayo ng ligtas at sumusuportang kapaligiran para sa lahat ng estudyante. Halimbawa, kung may isang estudyanteng nais mag-explore at pakita ang kanyang tunay na kasarian, dapat siya makaramdam ng suporta mula sa kanyang mga guro at kaklase. Sa pamamagitan nito, magkakaroon siya ng pagkakataon na yakapin ang kanyang sarili at maging totoo sa kanyang pagkatao na makakatulong sa kanyang sariling pagtanggap at pagiging tapat sa sarili. And that's a wrap for today's lesson. I hope you found these insights helpful. Remember the words of Aristotle, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. If you enjoyed this presentation, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss any future content. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment down below. You might like to check out the videos I link here. There's some more to explore. Thank you so much for watching. This is Mom Jessica. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning. See you soon. Bye for now.